Nonsensical Pittsburgh Steelers talk. Every single week we take that walk through the history, the present, and the future bright. Steel City stories shining ever so light. Yeah, Viking, Donkey, Gingy, Lasker, a legendary crew. Talking Steelers football through and through.
Donk Nation, Jackson, Janets, that's right. This is your daily dose of donkey with Ginger, and it's your boy, the Viking Donkey, bringing you some nonsensical Steelers talk. And, well, kind of here by myself. We're going to kind of keep this one nice, short, and sweet. It's the time of season where nothing's going on. If you're watching some college basketball, it's about to wrap up. If you're watching spring football, it's getting in there a little bit with some entertainment value going on for the people. About to be the Masters and some golf taken on. But in terms of football talk and the Pittsburgh Steelers, not a whole heck of a lot going on. So this week's going to be short. It's going to be sweet. It's going to be concise. We'll talk draft more. This coming up weekend, I'm going to be gone for the weekend, so I'm going to do a little video earlier. We're going 2 months. We're going to try to keep it nice, concise, right before the draft, tell you what we expect, what we would like to see, and then right after the draft, talk about what we have going on, what we saw, do we think the team improved, and did they get where they needed to go? Which will be, kind of quick, simple, easy. But this week we're going to simply rate the Steelers special teams. Of course, here I'm going to look at starters, pretty much talk about anybody who's played over 30% of special team snaps and give them that rating, of course. C is an average starter, right? Starter level play, NFL starter level play. Doesn't mean good play. B are those above average players, those good starters, the ones you like. And the A tier guys who were elite and did fantastic jobs. Of course, D tier guys are guys who probably should be backups. E tier guys are guys who are E and Fs are guys who they didn't play well at all, and probably if they had a job, it should be in question. So without a doubt, where we're going to start here when we talk about the special teams is we're going to talk about the three people involved in the kicking process: long snapper, punter, kicker, going all the way around. So, of course, we got Christian Kuntz. I would say he had a pretty solid season out there as the long snapper. No real mistakes on the snapping part. So you got to give Christian Kuntz a solid B to B+. He didn't make any spectacular plays down the field or things like that. But he certainly had an impact out there in terms of just being solid and reliable. And that's how he's always been. Solid B there. We'll move on to Corliss Waitman. I think he's a starter in the NFL. I think he did a good job. He had a couple bad games. He had a couple really good games. I'll give him a solid C. No longer with the team, but I think the rating for him should be a C. I think he did a good enough job holding the ball. Had punting miscues, which is where I think it was just a really average type of year for him. Had some big boomers, but then had games where there was a little more struggle than you want to see. We move on to Boswell, and this one's where it gets weird for me because we're used to him being elite and being an A, and he made a lot of kicks, made a lot of deep kicks, but there's a lot of kicks he missed that could have cost the Steelers games that just were not good. He became unreliable through a little bit of a stretch, it felt like. And just for that reason, I have to say, I still think in terms of NFL kickers, he was above average, but I don't think he gets... I'm really torn between a B- and a C+ here. So I'm going to just put, if there's a grade between B-, C+, so that grade between C- and B+, that's where we're going to see Boswell fit in here. I think that's where he belongs on this one. Hopefully he gets back to that elite status. I'd love to see another solid A year from him. But now let's get into some players that maybe you didn't think about. I'll just put these two together. Jack Sawyer and Peyton Wilson played the most special team snaps. And honestly, I don't really remember them doing much at all. So I'll give them solid C's. Maybe C pluses because I don't remember bad plays from them. And a lot of times in special teams, that's where you are. So you're going to see a lot of people on special teams probably get the C plus grade. I think that's where those two fit. Ben Skowronek, absolutely one of the better gunners in football out here. That's why he's on this team. So we'll go ahead and we'll put these next two, Ben Skowronek, Connor Hayward, both special teams guys, and I feel played, and Carson Bruner, actually. I'll put him there too because he made a lot of plays out there. Go together as the guys who played great in special teams and deserve that B solid above average player. I know Skowronek gets a lot of love out there, but he didn't. Maybe that's one where we could upgrade a little bit, but right now I'm just going to put those three mentioned guys as Bs, as that's where I really feel they all belong. Jabril Peppers played a lot of special team snaps. Again, a guy I don't remember, so let's give him and Chuck Clark together. We'll put them together, and we'll give them solid Cs. The next one on the list is a guy who was a really good gunner for us, James Pierre. Again, another guy who fits into that B category for me, above average for sure on special teams. And we're going to round it out. Cole Holcomb, Malik Harrison, Kenneth Gainwell, Wyatt Black. Those are the ones who played above 30% of special team snaps. Wasn't Gainwell involved on one of the big fumble recoveries? I think that was caused by Skowronek. So you know what? Skowronek's going to get moved up to A-. Gainwell ended up as part of a turnover, although really the return game didn't do much for us. So all the people I just mentioned, from Cole Holcomb down to Gainwell, are going to just get that solid C plus for me. None of them really made big mistakes. None of them did anything crazy. Exception, Wyatt Black gets moved to the B- category because he got a lot of interior penetrations on punts and kicks and things of that nature. And I want to point that out as he's one of the few special teamers that really kind of stuck out in my head. Of course, losing a guy like Miles Killebrew, huge for the team. There's a bunch of other people who played very limited special team snaps, and maybe they had some important roles. I guess Jalen Warren should get mentioned in there as he was a big part of the kick return game, if I recall correctly. And just nothing special happening from that package, but nothing terrible happening from that package. So I don't really know how you want to phrase it, how you want to look at it. But I think the grades I gave out there, just a lot of average play. I don't think there's anyone who stuck out as terrible. I don't think there's too many guys who deserve to be moved up, but there were a few, and I tried to remember them and bring them back out, so we could have a little bit. I guess the one exception I'll bring up here is the guy who didn't play 30% of the snaps. Caleb Johnson deserves an F for not understanding the rules. I think that falls more so on the coaches, but as a player, you can't have that. It's why he didn't see the field for a long time. One, Tomlin doesn't like rookies. Two, when rookies make mistakes, they never see the field again. So Caleb Johnson definitely gets an F out there for what the heck were you doing? Kayshawn Williams, I had some hope for him or Calvin Austin returning punts, but again, there was nothing done. As a matter of fact, the longest punt return of the year was by Scotty Miller. So the punt returners to me both get C minuses. That's Keyshawn Williams for a little bit and Calvin Austin for a little bit. And I believe Keyshawn Williams is the one who had one like a touchdown in the preseason, or it was in the regular season and it was brought back. There was some potential there for the punt return game to be special, but it never materialized into anything. And that's going to wrap it up for this episode here. Let me know what you think about the special teams, and if there's anything you want to see done in the draft talk or anything like that going forward. Of course, I have a shout out this week, but it's going to be baseball related. The Pittsburgh Pirates calling up Connor Griffin, a 19-year-old kid they drafted a couple years ago from Mississippi. Really cool to see him make his debut in the Pirates home opener, and they get a sweep against the Orioles. Good to see a teenage phenom be playing for the Pirates. That's kind of a fun thing to see going on out there. And now I'll let you know, I am the Viking Donkey. That's Viking_Donkey on Twitch and Twitter. Your daily dose of Donkey Ginger's an awesome YouTube channel where you get this content. Hopefully we have some more good stuff coming in, and Gingy coming back, of course. So Donk Nation, Steelers Nation, Wave them if you got them. Here we go.